Welcome back to Alley Chats. I'm your host, Rob Southgate. Alley Chats is like a virtual artist's alley featuring interviews with artists, filmmakers, podcasters, writers, and really any creative person you might find at a pop culture convention. My goal is to help draw attention to cool people and hopefully help them get some new fans. I want this podcast to raise up these amazing people and to inspire you, the listener, to chase your dreams as well. You can follow Alley Chats on Facebook under Alley Chats Podcast and join in the conversations. I'll add more social media in the future, but for now, that is the best place to interact with us. You can also email me directly if you would like to be a guest or have a guest suggestion. My email is rob@smgpods.com. Welcome to Ink Blots. I'm your host, Rob Southgate, and today I have an author with me who is once again from Four Horsemen Publications. We've had a few of those on here, but I'm going to keep going until I get them all. But this is a real pleasure for me because I've not met her before. This is D.A. Spruzen, and we're going to call her Dorothy from here on out. Dorothy, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You found out I'm going to have to edit things already because I stumbled right through that. So, Dorothy, why don't you tell the audience, let's start off by giving them a little bio. Talk about yourself a little bit.
All right. Well, my first degree was in dance education. I was on the faculty of a London theatre school for a while, and very often prepared children for the London stage. We had, of course, at that time, The Sound of Music on. So all these children had to be changed out because they grew. And if you wanted The Sound of Music, they had to be in a, gradated height line. So that was interesting. And then I came to the United States because I was engaged to someone who was here at Cornell. That didn't work out, but I stayed.
Okay.
And taught dance a little bit, but got into other things too. I was at one point manager of publications for a Grumman subsidiary. So I was in high-tech technical writing, basically. But that really didn't satisfy me particularly. So I decided to try my hand at some creative writing. And I wrote a short story, which I thought was very good, and submitted it to the F. Scott Fitzgerald conference. And when I was in the group where my story and other people's stories were discussed, I found out why I didn't win, that perhaps I needed to hone a few skills. That creative writing was quite different from technical writing.
Yes, definitely.
So anyway, my husband worked at the World Bank at that point, and a lawyer who worked for him, her sister was a writing instructor from the Iowa Writers Workshop. She trained there.
That's world class right there.
Right. So I studied with her long distance for a year. And then she said, you really need to do an MFA, which never crossed my mind. So I did an MFA, one of those long distance MFAs, which is really preferable, I think, because we had faculty coming to the campus, Queen's University of Charlotte, twice a year, where we attended for a very intensive week-long course of workshops and lectures and so on. But they were from all over the United States, and one even came from Germany. So you had faculty from the best schools in the United States, instead of just a sort of static faculty that was there year-round. And then we studied 4 in a group all year online. So I got my MFA. I was 65 at the time when I got my MFA. And I've been teaching ever since and writing ever since. So that's what got me started in creative writing.
You've been writing and teaching for a year then, right? Because if you started at 65, then,
Well, that's very nice of you.
Well,
some of my students have been with me for a long time, so they'd laugh if they heard you say that.
Well, it's fun because reading your bio, I hear all those things, but hearing you speak and I can tell you've just got a great story, and your books are fantastic. Now, right now we have the Sleuthing With Mortals is the series,
right?
And your 4th book is about to come out. I have to look at the date. Do you know the date?
Yes, October 24th.
October 24th is when it'll come out. This will be out long before that. So you can pre-order. The best place to do it is go to fourhorsemanpublications.com and pre-order from there, because you get a discount. And the reason we like to sell it through the publisher websites is, like in this case, I know that you, the author, get a bigger piece of the pie that way.
Mm.
So we're taking a little bit of the middleman out and making sure everybody's getting their fair share, as opposed to here's a nickel, which is not all that work. A nickel is not the greatest thing.
Yeah.
So tell me about the series. We're going to get into more personal stuff, but I want to hear about this series. What is Sleuthing with Mortals? Where did it come from?
Well, it's an urban fantasy. And in fact, I had it as the title of a book that I was working on, which was the first one, which I have now called The Turkish Connection. And somebody suggested that it would be a good name for a series. And I hadn't at that point thought of a series. However, I saw the sense of that and started to write a second one after I did The Turkish Connection. And funnily enough, I came across a Facebook posting by someone who was a Four Horsemen's author.
Okay.
And he mentioned how he just signed a 5-book deal and so on and so forth. And I looked at the website and saw that they only like to do series, which I thought made a lot of sense, and so on and so forth. And here we are.
And here you are. Now, how many books do you believe this?
I think it's going to be 6. I'm working on number 5, and 6 will be the end of it.
Now, are you in general more of a pantser or a plotter? Are you designed through 6 books already?
I have an idea where they're going and what they're about. The 5th one I'm working on now, I've centered it around the fact I've moved the series from Northern Virginia, the home base of these characters, from Northern Virginia to a town very much like the one I live in, to Southern Maryland, to the Chesapeake Bay area in Southern Maryland, where I also have a house, and where I like to be better than anywhere else in the world.
So you might as well move the characters there with you, right?
So they may as well come right on over. Right. So that's where they are. That's where they work from. And it's interesting because I can do all sorts of interesting things because of that location. This one is going to feature, number 5 is going to feature Chessie.
Oh, now we're getting into the paranormal a little bit.
Well, it is an urban fantasy.
Yes.
And so if you've heard of the Loch Ness Monster, and there is a tie between the Loch Ness Monster and Chessie and the Kelpies in Scotland. I don't know if you've heard of the Kelpies.
I've heard about all of this stuff. Erica and I talk about paranormal stuff all the time. I'm definitely on top of it.
Well, the Kelpies are fearsome creatures. So anyway, number 4, Odin's word, we finally find Asgard coming back to life.
Wonderful.
And I won't say any more.
Okay. Don't say any more. You've chummed the waters here. I mean, this is an incredibly cool series. The covers of your books are great. This is just a wonderful series. I'm kind of surprised that you have a completion at 6 books. But that doesn't mean there can't be offshoots and another cycle starts up, and because I think this is a really interesting series in general.
Well, I've written a short story about a witch, a rather long short story, which will be published in the Creatures, Crimes and Creativity anthology. I go to the conference on Friday, actually, and the conference has an anthology, and will be published in there. And I plan to make that into a bit of a series of connected short stories, and some of the characters from the Sleuthing with Mortals series will appear.
That's one of my favorite things when authors do that. There's actually one going on right now where a bunch of authors got together and they have written an anthology based on Stephen King's The Stand, and they're taking minor characters and giving us more, and I just absolutely love that. I can't get enough of it. So what a wonderful idea. Now, for your writing, is there any author or a couple of authors that you draw the most inspiration from, that you look at them and say, this is what I'm trying to do?
Well, there are different kinds of authors for different reasons. I started off, of course, with Agatha Christie, being somewhat of a role model. I have all her books here, double shelved,
Very
double
nice.
depth shelved. Well, years ago, about 35 years ago, I started to subscribe to an Agatha Christie book club. I had
Okay.
no idea how many books that woman wrote.
Oh my God, it's a million. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, so I was paying for that for a long, long time. Anyway, and then there are different books that appeal to me, like P.G. Wodehouse, for example, for humor, because I try to introduce humor into my books. The Turkish Connection probably has the most humor in it.
Okay.
So, different authors for different reasons. And other
Sure.
authors are just so eloquent. And other authors, like Tobias Wolff, for example, he writes actually not fiction, but memoir mostly, are able to write very richly, but very sparsely, very economically.
Mm-hmm.
So, different authors give me different kinds of inspiration.
Absolutely. It's a terrible question when I ask it. Uh, I mean, I really am just trying to hear what the thought process is. And you gave some real gems there. Sometimes people just spit out like, I guess it's Pat, but Stephen King. And it's like, okay, well, you mentioned him. Is that the only inspiration? That's all you read? But typically it's a wide cut of things.
Right.
What are you reading right now?
Right now, I just finished Bewilderment by Tamar Shapiro. The reason I was reading it actually is because I'm a reviewer for Washington Independent Review of Books.
Oh, great.
So that's my next assignment, is Bewilderment. Before that, it was Behold the Bird in Flight, which was a historical novel set around Queen Isabel of England, who married King John, the infamous King John. They give me a lot of historical novels because before I did this series, I wrote and have published a historical novel set during World War II in England, featuring a mildly mentally challenged young man.
Okay.
So, I get, I read a lot of English mysteries.
Sure.
I do enjoy those.
I wonder why you wouldn't be English by some chance, would you?
I might just.
Yeah, well, and we're Anglophiles in my house, so we read a lot of English and watch a lot of English TV, and so I get it. I get it. Now, you said you were born outside of London. Where were you? Where are you from?
A suburb of London.
Okay.
So I went to college in London.
Which suburb?
There's a place called Eastcote, which most people have never heard of. It was near Harrow.
Okay, I know where Harrow is. Yep, yep. Okay.
I went to school in Harrow, actually.
Wonderful. Yeah, when we were in London, we took the tube to either end. We went forever. So we did get into a lot of the smaller suburbs just to kind of check them out. And we found some absolutely, you'd get in this small town that has 10 things in it, and it would have an amazing restaurant. Like you'd go, I mean, this isn't like small town, oh, it's a Denny's. It would be stellar. And we go, they have one thing here. And it's one of the best restaurants I've ever eaten in. We love it. We love it over there very much. How long did you live there? How old?
I was 23 when I left.
Okay. Oh, do you get to go back often, or are you?
Yes, I do. My husband used to be with the World Bank before he retired, so we got home leave every 2 years.
Okay.
And his home country is Egypt.
Okay.
So we would be able to, of course, stop in London on the way to Egypt or on the way back from Egypt. So
you get a little bit of time.
Right. Right.
A little bit of time.
And
Wonderful.
in fact, my second book is a lot of it is set in current Egypt, current day Egypt, and also in ancient Egypt.
Ah, very good. Yeah.
So I do love historical fiction, and a lot of this series has a lot of historical fiction in it.
Well, that's another one of my favorite things is when you have the historical fiction mixed with the supernatural. To me, I love when a story can pull that off and make you look at history from a different perspective, maybe you go, wait a minute,
Right.
but what if? What if those pyramids are alien spaceships? What if? I love that. I love that. And Agatha Christie is a great one. I used to read a lot of Agatha Christie when I was young. I graduated off of Nancy Drew and the Hardy Boys very quickly. I read a bunch of those. Then it was like I found Agatha Christie, and then it went to Poe, and, and it was like, wow, they were the ones I found the most fascinating. I mean, the way she would design a mousetrap basically was just I was amazed by it every time.
Right.
So good call on that one. Now, do you have another series in you after this one? I mean, you're going to get the sixth book, and that's technically it.
Mhm.
Do you have another series percolating?
Well, I do actually. I wrote a trilogy called the Flower Ladies Trilogy, and it is actually in publication now.
Okay.
I don't have any dates yet, but the publisher, Four Horsemen, picked it up.
Oh, wonderful.
So it's in publication. And I don't know
Now, is
when
this
it'll be
another
out.
mystery series? What can you tell us about it?
It's really, it's hard to say. It's a series about a female serial killer who
Okay.
eventually finds redemption.
Okay.
But she sometimes has to resort to her old
I was,
bad habits to
I
save
was going to say, being a
somebody.
serial killer searching for redemption seems like a tall order.
She's not searching for it. She comes by it.
Ah, okay. Okay. Did you ever read the Dexter books? Because he finds moments of redemption that I find very interesting.
No, I didn't actually.
You know, if you've never seen the series is good. The books are really interesting. I mean, he's a serial killer, and it's weird because you really are rooting for a serial killer through most of it, where you're going, he's got to do this terrible thing, and I'm behind him doing it, yet he's still a serial killer. So I think that's always very fascinating. I
I think
can't wait to read your series.
well, my protagonist is actually someone you do root for. Hope she does get away.
Sure. Don't tell
Yeah.
us. No spoilers.
Oh no, no.
No. It's in the vault. Okay. So with your teaching and everything, I'm sure you encounter a lot of young writers. What is your favorite piece of advice to give a young writer?
Well, my mentor, my college mentor, grad school mentor, Fred LeBron, has a great saying. He says, "Don't attrish." In other words,
Okay.
don't give up.
Don't give
No
up.
attrition.
No attrition. I'm sitting there going, don't attrish. Don't attrish.
That's
Got
what he
it.
says. Don't attrish.
Don't attrish. Got it. Very good. Yeah, that is key, right? Because in no matter what you do, uh, they say you give up. People will give up a moment before things happen. I believe
Right.
that's so true.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And also go to class, because there's a lot to learn to hone your
Yeah.
skills and so on and so forth. It's just not the same as writing. My biggest problem has been over the years teaching for the school of Fairfax County adult education and so on, has been people who have PhDs, because they've written a thesis, therefore they know how to write. Well, yes,
Right.
you do, but you don't know how to write creative fiction. Different
Right.
animal.
Just like you with the technical writing, it is very different.
Right.
Well, and don't you think that even as somebody accomplished, there's much to be learned?
Absolutely, all the time. Every time I go to a conference and attend a panel, there's some little nugget in there somewhere.
I was at we were at a Comic-Con, and there were a bunch of horror authors up there, big ones. Daniel Kraus and Joe Hill and Josh Mallerman and Christina Henry were all on a panel, and we got to talk to them privately. And what I found interesting is here Joe Hill, when he wasn't being forced to answer questions, he had his nose stuck in a book. He was just reading, standing there, just reading. And then I was talking to Josh Mallerman, who also was doing the same thing. And I said, "Oh, what are you reading?" And he told me he was actually reading Hound of the Baskervilles. And he said, "I'd never read it." And he said, "It's fascinating." And it goes to your point. He was pulling out of it much more than just, "Wow, what a great story." He was saying, "Have you ever noticed how he does this, or how he says this, or the way he makes a character?" And I thought, that's where professional writers understand they have to continue to read, to find those things, to enhance their abilities, right?
Right. Well, that's what one thing I got one of the many things I got out of my MFA. Before the MFA, I used to just inhale books, just love them, inhale them, enjoy them. That's now I read like a writer. Because of the analysis and so on and so forth that one went through.
Now, okay, that brings me to another question then. Because I can't imagine you don't have this, but what's your chewing gum reading? Because even if you analyze, you've got to have some chewing gum in there.
Well, it's going to be, again, an English mystery,
You're going to fall back right into that. Yep.
Oh, right. And sometimes...
for me, it's short stories.
Yeah, well, yeah. I'm reading short stories at the moment, actually. It's a book of classical short stories, Sherlock Holmes and so on and so forth.
So much to learn.
They're very wordy. Those. They'd never get published now.
Yeah. Okay, you threw on your analysis hat there. The MFA is reading it and telling you you're too wordy.
Cut to the chase.
I always find them interesting. I love short stories because the good ones stay with you forever. And they also take a moment and they're able to elaborate it on a way that becomes so much bigger. Whereas some short story collections you read are either too wordy or, like as you said, or it didn't stay with me. I read it, I'm on to the next thing. You know what you know what I mean? Right. Okay, you didn't want to sit and write the novel. You wanted to get your one idea out, and there we go. But I am a big fan of short stories in general because I think of all the other things. I start creating the rest of the world when I hit a good one.
Sometimes when I need a break, I'll write poetry.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I have had poetry published quite a bit. And I had a poetry chapbook published too a few years ago.
Very fun. Very fun. Okay. We've asked the big questions. Let's see if we have some other ones I could ask you. Here's one. I asked this on my other show, but I've been thinking about this. It keeps coming into my head as I'm talking to you, so I'm going to use it here. So this is the ultimate convention, pop culture convention, whether it's writing or whatever. And I'm going to take restrictors off too. So no restrictors, living, dead, whatever, out the window. Who would you most want to meet and have a conversation with?
I think Arthur Conan Doyle.
And why?
He not only did he have an extremely fertile imagination, he had a very agile mind. He was a doctor at a time where medicine was very different from what it is now. So that would have been interesting. Some of what he believed would have been quite wrong. And some of it would have been making the best of what he had, the information and tools that he had at his disposal. So that would have been interesting. But he was scientifically quite sound in many ways. So I think he would have been a very interesting man.
I couldn't agree more. I think he'd be fascinating. And as somebody who's read, a lot of people haven't actually read Conan Doyle, but I think as a writer, he was very strong.
Yes.
I mean, his use of language and the way he conveyed an idea. And I mean, now he would be considered, a mystery writer, a pop culture writer, but but he was breaking barriers with what he was doing. And I find it quite fascinating.
Right. So, and he wrote about other classes of people too.
Right.
Which was perhaps not necessarily, well, of course, Dickens did that too, but not necessarily that common at that time.
Right. Now, okay, having been in London, did you ever go to 221B Baker?
Yes, I walked past it a few times.
We went to the shop, but we didn't go up. I guess you can go up and see this made-up apartment that's supposed to be Holmes' apartment.
I don't know. I haven't done that.
Yeah, but we went into the shop and we were like, "This is cool. All the different things from the different eras of Sherlock Holmes. Very cool." So, what's your favorite? I'm stuck on London. What's your favorite food in London?
Fish and chips.
Yeah? Do you have a place, or is it just in general?
No, just in general. And there are a few places around here where it's quite good, but it's very often done with not right, done with heavy batter or whatever. I found a place actually down in Solomons in Calvert County. It's a little shack almost.
Okay.
They only have about 3 tables indoors, and otherwise you share tables outside.
Those are
It's
some
at
of the best places.
Well, it's at the end of the fishing pier. I always take my grandson who comes to visit with his family and his sister every summer. And for his birthday, I charter a boat for fishing. And there is this jetty for charter boats, and it sits at the end of this jetty.
Okay.
So
Wonderful.
yeah.
What a cool
And
place. And you said the food is good.
Well, it's just very fresh.
That's key. When we were in Maryland, I don't remember the name of the place, but we ate at a place that you'd sit at the pier and you could look out over the water, and they had crab. Everybody has crab there, but literally we were watching them pull the crab out, and then within a half hour it's on your table and you're going, holy cow, that is fresh. And they said, we're pulling it out right now. Like when we ordered, like it'll be a few minutes, we're pulling it out. And we're going, that's amazing. And boy, that's when it tastes incredible.
That's right. That's right.
So let's see. You've had so many different things going on here with Sleuthing for Mortals. I know you're doing a 6th book, and I know that technically that's the end, but do you see more? Do you see a like world building beyond that with this? I know you said you've got the short stories in that, but is this the kind of thing where you're like, when I'm done with this, I want to play around with the sandbox, but I'm not going back full on into a series. I want to move into the next thing. Is that is that where your head is at right now?
Yes, it is. It is. One thing I chose my protagonists in Sleuthing with Mortals. Lynn is a Norse goddess who has lived through many eras and cultures, obviously, and her husband, Hönir, is also a Norse god. They are 2 not well-known gods at all. And I didn't want to get into the Marvel Comics kind of situation.
Sure.
Thor is mentioned, of course. Odin comes into it, and so on and so forth. But the main characters are those who are not well known, not hardly mentioned in the Edda. Lyn was handmaiden to the goddess Frigg. Hönir is the brother of Odin.
Interesting.
So he outranks her, except she runs circles around him. But anyway, so I just wanted protagonists who were real gods, you know what I mean.
I know what you mean.
But not just stereotyped, as they have been by movies, and other characters have been by movies and so on. Sure. I have a very different take on the Norse gods.
Very good. Did you read the Neil Gaiman Norse Gods book? Did you like that one?
I did.
That's one that I still haven't read, but every time I see that cover, I think, "Ooh, I really want to read this one. It looks good." Did he get it right?
I think so.
Okay. Okay. Is the
anyone
MFA hat coming back on? Let me have a few words with him about some of his writing. Well, Dorothy, this has been lovely. I'm encouraging everybody to go to fourhorsemanpublications.com. Get the whole series. There's 4 books in the series right now. Get caught up before that 5th book comes out. And you can pre-order the new one and get a little discount on that too. If not, you can get it wherever you order your books. You're a bookshop.org person, an Amazon person, they're there. But I do recommend doing it at Four Horsemen Publications. Dorothy, what's the best place for people to interact with you?
Well, I do have a website, daspruzen.com. And there is a contact button there.
Okay. What about social media? Is there a place that you kind of hang out a little bit?
Social media, Facebook, absolutely.
You're hanging out there. Okay.
I have almost 5,000 followers, so I can't take too many more friends.
Fantastic.
Friends on. And of course, there's Instagram. I did bow out of X, I'm afraid.
So did I.
Yeah. So Instagram and Facebook, definitely. And
Great.
I'm on there several times a day.
I will put that in the show notes so people can follow you,
Great.
ask questions if they need to, interact, tell her how beautiful these books are. You can do whatever there. So there you go. We have our marching orders. We're going to order these books. We're going to follow you on social media. We're going to subscribe to your newsletter. We're going to be all in on Dorothy Spruzen. Dorothy, thank you so much for joining me. And we'll have you back again in the future.
Thank you. I'd love that.
You can connect with me on social media or via email. All the links are found in the show notes. Oh, and it would really help me if you would rate and review this show on whatever platform you use to listen to this podcast. Good reviews help others find the show, which ultimately helps these incredible guests get more exposure. Alley Chats is a production of Southgate Media Group, hosted, produced, and edited by me, Rob Southgate. Thanks again for listening to Alley Chats. And don't forget to support indie